My name is Crystal. I am 27 years old. I work at a big warehouse. It is cold in winter and hot in summer. The job is not easy, but I work hard every day. I move boxes, pack goods, and load trucks. My back hurts sometimes, but I never complain. Many workers at the warehouse know me. Some say hello every morning. Some bring me coffee or help with heavy boxes. I do not ask for attention, but I get it anyway. People say I have a nice smile. Some men tell me I look pretty. Some women want to be my friend. But I do not care about that. I only care about one man. His name is Anthony. Anthony works in the same warehouse. He drives the forklift. He does not talk much. He keeps to himself. He comes in, does his job, and leaves. He never looks at me. Not once. First, I did not notice him. But one day, I dropped a box near him. He picked it up and gave it back. He did not smile. He just walked away. My heart felt strange. I watched him as he moved across the floor. His eyes were dark. His face was quiet. I could not stop looking. After that, I began to think about him more and more. I waited for the sound of his forklift. I looked for him during lunch. I watched him when he worked near me. But he never looked back. He did not say my name. He did not greet me. I started to wonder why. Was I not good enough? Was I boring? Ugly? Too loud? The other men laughed with me. They joked and flirted. One man even asked for my number. But I said no. I did not want them. I only wanted Anthony to say one word to me. Just one. Days passed. Then weeks. Changed my hair. I wore new jeans. Put on light makeup. Still he did not notice. Hurt. But I did not stop trying. I brought him coffee once. I placed it on his table during break time. He looked at it, then looked away. He did not say thank you. My chest felt tight. Smiled anyway. I asked him once, "Do you need help with that?" He said, "No," without looking at me. Then he walked off. I stood there with my hands cold and empty. One day, I saw him talking to another girl in the corner. Her name was Kate. She worked near the shipping office. She had short blonde hair and soft eyes. She laughed at something he said. I had never seen him laugh before. My heart broke a little. That night I could not sleep. I stared at the ceiling and asked myself, why not me? I was friendly. I was kind. I was always near him. But he acted like I did not exist. At work the next day, I tried to ignore him. I walked past him and kept my eyes down. I did not smile. But still I watched him from far away. He looked happy. He smiled at Kate again. I wanted to cry. Before we continue with the story, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the world are you listening from today? Leave a comment below. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more simple and emotional English stories. I called my best friend Ella after work. She said, "Crystal, maybe he is just not interested." Her words felt sharp. I hung up the phone and sat on my bed. Felt small and lost. The next week I worked late. I stayed behind to finish packing a big order. I saw Anthony at the back door. He was talking on the phone. I heard him say, "I'm seeing someone. I'll call you later." He smiled. My hand shook. I turned around and walked away. He had someone. And it was not me. That night I sat in the break room alone. The lights were dim. My body felt heavy. I looked at my reflection in the vending machine glass. My eyes looked tired. My face looked older. Felt like a fool. All this time I thought maybe he would see me. Maybe he would feel something. But I was just another person in the background to him. Cried a little. Not much. Just enough to feel the pain. The next day I came to work like always. I moved boxes, packed goods, and smiled at people. But something inside me was different. I stopped looking for him. I stopped hoping. He never spoke to me. Not once. And now I knew he never would. The warehouse felt colder the next week. Or maybe it was just me. I kept my head down and worked. I stopped talking much. People noticed. One man said, "Are you okay?" I smiled and said, "Just tired." But I was not tired. I was sad. I saw Anthony every day. He still walked past me like I was nothing. He still talked to Kate. Sometimes they stood close. Sometimes she laughed too loud. Felt like the sound of breaking glass. I tried to stay busy. I worked fast. Took more shifts. I thought if I stayed busy, I would not feel the pain. But I felt it in small ways. When I ate lunch alone. When I heard his voice. When I passed the spot where I left him coffee. One day I found a flower on my desk. It was small and white. I looked around. No one said anything. I thought for a second, was it from him? My heart jumped. But later I saw a note on Kate's desk. It said, "Lunch today." I saw his name at the bottom. My heart sank again. The flower was not for me. I threw it in the trash. That evening I walked home slowly. The sky was gray. My feet hurt. My eyes felt wet. I knew now I had to stop. I had to stop hoping. He would never see me. Not the way I saw him. I was just a girl in the same room. I still liked him. Maybe I always would. But I knew now, he did not feel the same. And that broke something in me. I stopped looking for Anthony. I stopped wearing makeup to work. I stopped trying to smile when I didn't want to. Something inside me felt cold. Every day I woke up, got dressed, and went to the warehouse. My hands moved the same. My feet walked the same. But my heart was not the same. The others still talked to me. Some joked, some asked if I wanted to go out for coffee. I said no to all of them. I did not feel like talking. I just wanted to be left alone. One girl said, "You used to smile more." I gave a small smile, but it felt fake. I saw Anthony often. He still worked near me sometimes. But now I didn't watch him. I didn't wait for him. I just let him be. He didn't notice. He still didn't speak to me. Not one word. Not one look. It was like I didn't exist. And maybe to him I never did. One day I dropped a box. It hit the ground hard, and my hand started bleeding. I didn't cry. I just stood there, holding my hand, looking at the red. A man named Kyle saw me. He ran over and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "It's fine." He said, "You're bleeding." I said, "It doesn't hurt." But it did. Not just my hand. Everything inside me hurt. Kyle helped me clean the cut. He talked a lot. He tried to make me laugh. He was nice. But I didn't want nice. I wanted something else. Something I could not have. That's the worst kind of feeling. When you know someone could speak to you but they choose not to. After work, I walked home in the dark. The sky was black and the air was cold. I pulled my jacket tight. My ears hurt. My fingers were stiff. I looked up at the sky. There were no stars, just clouds and cold wind. I thought of Anthony's face, his quiet eyes, his strong hands, his silence. Why did I fall for him? He was not kind to me. He was not soft or warm. But he was calm. He was sure. He looked like someone who knew what he wanted. I wanted to be that person he wanted. But I was not. Weeks passed. The pain did not stop. It became quiet, but it stayed. Like a low sound in the back of my head. Every day felt the same. My heart felt like a wall. I stopped hoping. That part of me was tired. Then one morning something changed. Kate did not come to work. People talked about it. She's sick, someone said. She might quit, said another. I felt something strange inside me. Hope. Fear. I didn't know. Later that week, Anthony walked by me. He dropped a folder. I picked it up and gave it to him. He said, "Thanks." One word. Just one. I looked at him. My heart jumped. He had never spoken to me before. I went home that night with a strange feeling. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked tired, but there was a small light in them. I touched my face. Did he notice me now? Did he finally see me? The next day he spoke again. "You work fast," he said. I laughed a little. "I've been here a while," I said. He gave a small smile. My chest felt warm. Was this the start of something? We talked more after that. Not a lot. Just short words. "Morning. Thanks. Be careful." But to me they felt big. Like doors opening. I began to hope again. Just a little. One day he came to the break room. I was sitting alone. He sat across from me. Smiled. He looked tired. "Long day?" Yes. He nodded. "Yeah. I wanted to ask so many things. Do you have a girlfriend? Do you remember the coffee I gave you? Did you ever see me before now?" But I stayed quiet. Then he said something I didn't expect. "I'm leaving next month." I looked at him. "What?" said. He nodded. "Got a better job. In another city." My hands went cold. "Oh," I said. He looked down. "Didn't plan to stay long. Just needed work for a while." Could not speak. My throat felt dry. My heart felt like it was falling. "You're a good worker," he said. I smiled, but my lips shook. "Thanks." Then he stood up. "Take care." And he walked away. I sat alone in the break room. My eyes burned. I wanted to scream. He was leaving. Just when he finally spoke. Just when I thought there was a chance. I walked home in the rain. My clothes were wet. My shoes were heavy. Every step felt hard. I wanted to stop and sit on the road. I wanted the rain to wash away my feelings. But it didn't. When I got home, I sat in the dark. I didn't turn on the light. I didn't eat. I didn't move. I just sat there. He was my secret crush. And now he was going away. He never really knew me. He never asked my name. He never gave me a real smile. He gave me a few words, and now he was gone. The worst part was, I still liked him. Even when he ignored me. Even when he said goodbye. He was never mine. But I had hoped. And now, there was nothing left to hope for. The next few days felt empty. Anthony still came to work, but I stopped looking at him. I didn't want to see his face. I didn't want to remember his words. "I'm leaving next month." Those words played again and again in my mind, like a song I could not turn off. I told myself it was fine. We were never close. He never liked me. It was just a small crush. But that was a lie. It was not small. It was deep. It was the kind of crush that sits in your chest like a heavy stone. I worked harder than before. I wanted to feel tired. I wanted my body to hurt. Because when I felt pain, I did not have to feel sad. But the sadness stayed. Even after work. Even in my sleep. I saw his face in my dreams. I heard his voice. I woke up with tears in my eyes. One morning, I saw a group of workers laughing near the back. Anthony was with them. He smiled, but it looked different. He looked relaxed. He looked happy. I was not part of that group. I stood far away and watched. He looked at me once. Eyes met. I looked away quickly. My heart raced. I wanted to run. I picked up a box and walked to the other side of the warehouse. I sat down behind a shelf and took a deep breath. I did not want to cry at work. Later that day I saw him again. He walked past me and said, "Be safe." Just 2 words. But they hurt. 'Cause they were too kind too late. I said nothing back. I could not trust my voice. The days moved fast. The month was almost over. I counted the days in my head. I thought, 3 more days. Then he will be gone. I told myself that was good. I needed this to end. But my heart felt heavy. On his last day, people made a small party. They brought cake and drinks. Someone gave him a card. People laughed and talked. I stayed near the back. I did not join the party. I had nothing to say. He saw me. I know he did. But he did not come close. He did not say goodbye. That night I walked home alone. I looked at the road, the trees, the streetlights. Everything looked the same, but I felt different. Something inside me was gone. When I reached home, I sat at the kitchen table. I didn't eat. I didn't talk. I just sat there. My phone buzzed, but I didn't look. I knew it was my friend Ella. She always called when I was quiet. But I didn't want to talk. What could I say? That my heart broke over a man who never loved me. No one would understand. The next week he was gone. The warehouse felt quiet. Some people talked about him. He was a good worker. Very calm. "I'll miss him." I said nothing. I thought I would feel free. I thought the pain would stop. But it didn't. I still looked at the spot where he used to work. I still heard the sound of his forklift. But it was just memory now. Nothing more. Days turned into weeks. Life went on. I went to work. Packed boxes. Ate lunch alone. My days were slow. My heart still hurt, but not like before. It was not sharp now. It was soft. Like an old bruise. One day, Ella came to visit me at home. She brought food and sat on my couch. "You need to get out," she said. "You need to breathe." I smiled a little. "I'm fine," I said. "No, you're not," she said. She looked at me with kind eyes. "You don't have to be okay right away. Just take your time." That night I thought about her words. Maybe it was okay to feel pain. Maybe it was normal to be sad. Maybe I didn't need to fix it all at once. So I began to walk in the park after work. Just small walks. Just me and the trees. I listened to the birds. I watched the sky. I saw little kids run and laugh. I didn't feel happy, but I felt calm. And that was enough. One evening I sat on a bench in the park. A little girl ran past me and dropped her toy. I picked it up and gave it to her. She smiled and said, "Thank you." Smiled back. It was small, but it made me feel human again. Another day, an old man sat next to me on the bench. He looked tired. "Long day?" "Yes." He smiled. "Every day is long now," he said. We laughed a little. We didn't talk much, but it felt nice to speak to someone new. Slowly, I began to feel like myself again. I wore makeup one day just for me. I played music while cooking. I called Ella and talked for hours. I still thought about Anthony sometimes, but not with pain. Just with silence. He was a part of my story. A chapter one didn't expect. But it was over now. One morning I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked stronger. My face was still the same, but something inside me had changed. I was still hurt, but I was healing. He never spoke to me, not when it mattered. But I learned something important. I don't need someone else to see my worth. I don't need someone to choose me. Can choose myself. A month passed since Anthony left. The warehouse was still busy. Boxes still moved from one place to another. Forklifts still beeped and rolled by. People laughed, worked, and took their breaks. But to me, something felt different. His absence was not loud. It was quiet, like a door that closed softly and would never open again. I did not look at his old spot anymore. I looked at my work, my hands, the floor, and the sky. But not at memories. Every morning I woke up and dressed the same. I tied my shoes, drank water, and walked to work. But now my thoughts were calm. There was no more waiting. No more hoping he would say something. That part of me had fallen away. I still remembered him, but not like before. Now the feeling was smaller, weaker, more distant. Like the sound of a song I once loved but no longer played. Some days I felt sad again. Like when I passed the coffee machine where I once left him a cup. Or when I heard someone laugh the way Kate used to laugh with him. Those moments made me stop for a second. But they passed. The sadness came like small waves, then went back. And I kept moving. One afternoon I saw a worker drop a heavy box. It reminded me of that first moment I saw Anthony. I bent down and helped her lift it. She smiled and said, "Thank you, Crystal." Smiled back. "It's okay." Then I walked away. But my heart was quiet. I didn't think of him this time. I only thought of the girl and the heavy box. That was new. Home I played soft music now. I cleaned my small apartment. I opened the windows. I let light into rooms that used to stay dark. I didn't cry at night anymore. I slept better. I still had dreams, but they were about simple things: walking, working, riding the bus, seeing the sky. He was not in them. One evening, Ella and I walked by the lake near town. She talked about her new job. I listened and smiled. Then she stopped and asked, "Do you still think about him?" I looked at the water. The sky was pink, and ducks moved slowly on the surface. I said, "Not like before." She nodded and said nothing more. That was all she needed to hear. I began to write in my phone sometimes. Not a diary. Just short thoughts. Not even full sentences. Things like, "Today was quiet," Or I liked the cold wind. Helped me notice things. Not big things. Just small ones. The sound of a bird. The way the sun touched the street in the morning. A stranger who smiled. These little things made me feel alive. One Friday, our manager called for a meeting. We had a new team leader. Everyone gathered near the back wall. I stood with the others. The manager spoke. Then he pointed to a tall man beside him. The man stepped forward and smiled. "Hello," he said. "My name is Luke. I'll be working with you from now on." I watched him. He looked kind, but I felt nothing. No butterflies. No fast heart. Just peace. After the meeting, I went back to work. Luke passed by and said, "Hi, Crystal." I looked up and smiled. "Hi." That was all. Then I went back to packing boxes. My heart didn't move. That was okay. Lunch, I sat alone outside. I ate a sandwich and watched people walk by. I saw a couple holding hands. I didn't feel jealous. Felt calm. Love would come, or maybe it wouldn't. But I knew now. I didn't need it to feel complete. I had myself. I had my quiet. I had my days. I had my strength. Sometimes I still thought of Anthony. I remembered the silence between us. How I waited. How I hoped. How I hurt. But I didn't blame him. He didn't ask for my feelings. He didn't promise anything. He simply didn't choose me. That was not his crime. That was just life. I realized something one morning as I walked to work. The pain had made me softer, not harder. I didn't hate him. I didn't hate love. I didn't even hate the silence. Because all of it brought me to this moment. To this quiet, steady version of myself. And she was enough. I still wear the same jacket. I still walk the same streets. I still go to the same warehouse. But I am not the same girl who waited by the break room door. I am not the girl who bought coffee for a man who never said thank you. I am the girl who now buys coffee for herself, drinks it alone, and feels full. One day I may fall for someone again. Maybe he will see me. Maybe he will ask my name. Maybe he will speak before I give too much. Or maybe he won't. And that will be okay too. Because this is not a story about love returned. It is a story about a girl who once gave her heart in silence. And then found herself again. And that, for me, is more than enough. A few weeks later, I walked into the warehouse early. The lights were still dim. The air smelled like dust and old paper. I placed my lunch in the break room and stood by the window. I could see the sky turn from dark blue to light gray. It was quiet. I liked the quiet now. I didn't fear it anymore. I thought of Anthony once again. Not with pain. Not with hope. Just as a name that once meant something. I wondered if he was happy. If he found peace in his new job. If he smiled more. But then I smiled too. Because his happiness didn't change mine anymore. I took a deep breath and walked to the floor. Few people waved. I waved back. My heart felt light. I was not waiting for someone to notice me. I was just doing my work, living my day. Later, during break, Ella sent me a message. It said, "You look strong these days." I read it twice. Then I smiled and replied, "I feel it too." That was the first time I really believed it. He never spoke to me the way I hoped. He never saw my heart. But now I do. And for the first time in a long time, I know that's enough. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Like and comment if you want to hear more soon.